And we are live. Welcome to Rice TVX and the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Today, I am joined by Colin Pape, who is the CEO and founder of Presearch. And in case you haven't heard of Presearch, you should have, because they're one of the sponsors of Rice TVX. We're going to go ahead and get this show started for you in just moments.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
And there's going to be information down below for the sponsors of Rice TVX, BitSwap, Dex, Monarch, and Presearch. So check that out down below. All right, let me get through all this little technical stuff here, and I am on screen. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to the Presearch community that's watching. And if you're not familiar with what Presearch is, Colin's going to explain what Presearch is and how you can earn some cryptocurrency and explain the intricacies and the awesomeness of this decentralized search engine. So before we get started, make sure if you haven't already, head over to ricetvx.com and sign up on my mailing list. That way you never miss an update and you can stay updated on new Rice TVX content. And I'm also going to be launching my shop very soon with merchandise. That should be anytime this weekend. I want to be taking some time to work on some different designs. So we should have merch online coming this weekend, hopefully, but I'll keep everybody up to date. But be sure you're signed up on the mailing list. Also, make sure you're following my backup channel on YouTube, Rice TVX2, the sequel. And this is going to be listed down below in the video description. Or if you search for it on YouTube, make sure you're going in your search filters and just clicking on channels, because YouTube is definitely shadow banning my content. And being that this is a fairly new channel, this is the best way to find it. But again, links are going to be down below. And in case anything ever happens to any of my YouTube channels, make sure you're following me over on Odyssey and library.tv. You can also follow Presearch over there as well, and I encourage you to do so. If you want to support the channel directly, check out my Patreon channel where I post up exclusive content. I'm going to start doing daily diaries, and I'm also doing early access to videos. You can support the channel directly. I have 3 different levels of membership, and with a $20 membership level, I'm going to be recording conversations with patrons. Those videos are going to be available for free on my Patreon channel, and then I'll migrate them over to Odyssey and Library. There's plenty of free videos on my Patreon channel, so I definitely encourage you to go over and check out the videos over there. And if you haven't taken advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange, you can get a free ½ ounce of silver. All you need to do is go to moneymetals.com, be a first-time buyer, purchase a minimum of $100. That's like 4 ounces of silver. And then you get a free ½ ounce of silver. It's an additional way to support the channel as well. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Make sure you use that promo code RICE, R-I-C-E, during checkout. You got to use that promo code to get that free ½ ounce of silver. And again, that does support the channel. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our guest of honor. That is Mr. Colin Pape, the CEO and founder of CEO, the CEO and founder of Presearch. What's going on, Colin?
Hey, Rice. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I was trying to get a really cool, smooth intro going on there, but I just totally screwed it up. But it's all good. We're live.
You're promoting me on the CEO of CEOs.
The CEO of CEOs. Well, you are a
reluctant CEO, so that's ironic.
And you are a CEO of multiple companies in addition. So you have Shop City, this is what you started before you got into the blockchain crypto space. And before we get started, Colin, for people who don't know, I mean, obviously you and Presearch are one of the sponsors of Rice TVX, and you've been supporting my channel very early on, man. So I'm very, very appreciative of all the support that you've given me. I know that we're like-minded. I want to have another conversation. I know you have another interview later on today, but I'd like to do a conversation where we're just kind of talking about me and you, what you're about, not anything to do with Presearch, because I don't want that to taint what Presearch is about. Because sometimes people who come from our ideology of thinking, it could affect one's business, and I don't want that to be the case here.
Yeah, we're free thinkers, man, and it's not for everyone. That's for sure.
But I do thank you, man. And I mean, the cool thing about Presearch that I like is it's got a real use case. So for people who are unfamiliar, they might see the ads, on the beginning of my show and stuff. But if you were to explain what Presearch is to somebody, and before you answer this, you've been on the show before. I have a playlist down below with the previous appearances and my videos about Presearch. But I've gotten a lot bigger of an audience since you've been on last time. So that's the reason I'm asking you, if you don't mind, to kind of just explain in your words what Presearch is.
Yeah, man. And congrats on the growth. And awesome to see so many people following what you're doing, man, because you've got some great views and great news. So thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, Presearch, we are building a decentralized search engine. So 90+% of people use Google. Obviously, they provide a pretty strong user experience. That's why they've had the growth that they've had. But that kind of comes at some trade-offs, compromise to privacy. A lot of people don't really necessarily identify with the ideology behind, some of the Google decisions and Google founders, and are looking at ways to continue to search the web without, compromising on some of their ideals. And as well, I mean, you've got the user experience, but Google's making, $100 billion a year on the ads that are displayed, and none of that is going to their community of users. And so Presearch is kind of flipping that script. Decentralized search engine powered by user nodes. You can go to nodes.presearch.org and spin up a node. We actually, over the past day, we've just crossed over 4,000 nodes on the platform, which is pretty significant. I think Ethereum has like 4,500 or something. So
what was the web address?
It's nodes.presearch.org.
Okay.
And so basically, it's using the computing resources from our user base and our community. And those people who are operating those nodes are being rewarded in Presearch tokens. And so when you search, it's going kind of to our node gateway, then it goes out, finds a node, and then it executes your search across a bunch of different search resources, including existing search engines, APIs, databases, returns the results back in, and then it embeds an ad at the top. There's only one ad instead of 4 or 5 that you would see on Google. And that is powered by our keyword staking platform, which is our advertising system. And that is keywords.presearch.org. And I'll talk a little bit about how that works. But essentially, when you search, you earn pre-tokens. And so we're sharing the rewards of the network with the community. We're enabling the community to participate in the building the growth of the platform. And the infrastructure of the platform, and really building kind of this grassroots, ground-up search engine that ultimately is designed to overcome some of the censorship, the bias, the agendas, and give people essentially search choice so that they can have an independent search engine that they can customize to their values and their usage patterns. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Awesome. I mean, that's obviously one of the reasons why I really like what the project is doing, is giving people an alternative to Google. A lot of people, especially in the freedom space, know the kind of problems that Google has been, putting on recently, especially with the censorship and shadow banning and stuff going on. Now, when people do sign up, there is a referral link that you can use. So if you want to share it with your friends once you sign up, my referral link is down below in the video description. Normally you would be logged in, and I am logged in, but on this particular browser, I don't have any of my passwords saved. So this way I don't have to have any problems, especially with this particular work computer.
Yep.
So, but this is where you would earn Presearch. And so with the cryptocurrencies, it's a utility token. It has a lot of use case. Can you explain some of the use cases for the Presearch token, for the pre-token?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest one currently, it is in the advertising platform. So it's on keywords.presearch.org. And if you go into that site, you can basically type in any term, and you can see however many tokens are being staked against a given keyword. And so with Google, for instance, it basically costs you every time somebody clicks on your ad. So you go in, you associate a credit card. If you want to have your ad displayed, you choose which keywords you want it to show up under. And then you write, your ad title and the description, and then you put your link out to wherever you want to send your visitors. And then when somebody clicks on your link, basically Google charges you. And the amount varies. It depends on the keyword. I mean, some of them are relatively inexpensive at maybe $1 per click, but some of them are tens of dollars, even hundreds of dollars per click. And so it can add up pretty quickly. And all that money is basically kind of getting siphoned out of your wallet, out of your community, out of your country, and it's going into like Mountain View, California, and then they're basically, parking it in these offshore vehicles in Ireland and Caymans, and it's kind of this like massive vacuum basically that's like, siphoning ad revenue out of various communities. With Presearch, there's currently no consumptive charge at all. So if somebody clicks on your ad, there's no charge. And so that's why we've been offering kind of this free advertising promotion essentially. So you do need to buy the Presearch tokens that you stake, and staking is kind of like locking or committing them to a specific term, but you retain ownership of them. So let's say I wanted to have my ad displayed when somebody typed, rice. I would go in, I would look to see, what's the maximum that somebody has staked under that term. If it was, let's say 5,000 pre-tokens, then I would stake, 6,000, and then
or you could do 5,001 as long as it's higher number than what's already currently staked, correct?
That's correct. As long as it's higher, and so as long as you have the highest amount staked, your ad will be displayed. So if somebody outstakes you, then their ad will be displayed. Or if you cancel your stake, which then returns your tokens to your wallet, then your ad is no longer displayed. And so it's a way to basically, create demand for the token. We're giving out the reward tokens as an incentive for people to switch to Presearch. And so we need to have, kind of both sides of that ecosystem. We've got one that's the supply, where they're kind of coming into the market, and they're coming, for search rewards, referral rewards, as well as the node operator rewards. And then on the demand side, we have people who are buying them in order to stake them to have their ads displayed. There's, more than 2.2 million registered users, about 1 million searches a day. And so there's some traffic that's pretty valuable and pretty significant. And specifically, if you're trying to reach people who are crypto enthusiasts, people who are freedom oriented, it's a good opportunity. And so we have people buying those tokens, and then that kind of completes the ecosystem.
I think it's a really cool idea where you could, with the keyword staking, where you're picking a word that people will search for that you think will be a highly searched term. And then if you're the highest bid on that stake, then you'll get your advertisement shown. Does the second or third staked highest get any sort of showing, like any sort of visibility at all?
So right now it's kind of more like a failover. So if somebody cancels their ad, then your ad will be displayed. But we're looking at a model where it would be more of like a pro rata. So let's say there's 10,000 tokens staked all together. The top person has 5,000, and then the bottom two have 3 and 2. It would be then pro rata. So the top person would get 50% of the views, and then 30%, 20%. So,
okay.
But right now, it's kind of a winner take all type model. And generally, the people who are staking in the follow on positions, it's more for that failover, because sometimes people will cancel their stakes. And we've got a lot of people that are basically like tasting the traffic right now, and so they'll run all these different ads, and they try to see like because that's kind of the only way to view the traffic currently. We don't have like a keyword explorer per se, where you can go in and see like how many people are searching for that. And that's kind of, privacy by design, but whoever is actually staking on that term, they are able to see, not the people by any means. It's all, private and anonymous, but they can see the numbers. So this is how many searches for that term were run. Here's how many clicks were on my ad. They get that type of data. And so right now, yeah, we've got people in kind of this free-for-all type situation where they're going in and they're just, running ads, and then, hey, does this get traffic? And people trying to figure out, what's the optimal kind of value for things. Like I think just the keyword Bitcoin, last I looked, it had like 6 million pre-tokens staked on it. And
wow.
So that's pretty significant stake. And so for some people, the traffic, so it's actually 8.97 million pre-tokens staked currently, and it's by a pretty significant crypto project in the space. But we'll get people that will try to find more creative terms.
Is that Unstoppable Domains by Curiosity?
That one's actually not. No,
Okay.
Looks like it's actually Dex Tools.
Cool.
Yeah, Dex aggregator. But yeah, you can go in and come up with more creative things if you wanted, Bitcoin wallet, or even like localized things, Bitcoin Canada, whatever, and you can stake significantly less and still sometimes end up with a whole bunch of traffic. So people are kind of experimenting right now.
Now, if people wanted to get tokens, how can people get the tokens aside from earning them, of course?
Yep. So yeah, definitely anybody can register and then start earning. Up in the top right corner, if you hit buy pre, that kind of takes you over to our marketplace, so you can buy them direct from the project that way. And then if you go, I believe, if you go back and then go into the footer, there's another link down at the bottom that has the different exchanges. So if you go under exchanges, that'll show kind of the other places that you can buy it. So, KuCoin, Uniswap, Probit, HitBTC currently.
The KuCoin that was just recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, KuCoin's we've been on there for about a year now, I guess. And they, had their hack back in, I think, September. That was
I don't know why I was thinking recent with KuCoin. I think that was another coin that got listed. I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, but yeah, KuCoin's actually been pretty solid, good feedback from users. So
yeah, I of the exchanges, that is probably one of my favorite exchanges to use. It kind of reminds me of Binance when it first started out, and doesn't have a lot of the regulation that Binance has currently. So I appreciate that. So I always got to promote those sort of exchanges, even if it's a centralized exchange, where they're trying to get away from some of the regulations, some of the KYC requirements. Much appreciated. So
yeah,
and I want people to realize how easy it is to accumulate by earning and then by trading, or even just purchasing pre-tokens. And then you could select a certain amount of tokens. Is there a minimum amount of tokens that people have to have for the keyword staking?
It's currently 1,000 pre for any of the keywords. That's going to change over time as the value of the token, fluctuates. But that's currently, whatever, $30 or $35, something around there.
Okay.
But again, you retain ownership of them. You can cancel them, and so it remains an asset of yours. It's not a payment per se.
So I mean, it's a cool idea. If somebody wants to get some advertising done, they can use Presearch. They can stake based off a keyword, select their advertisement. If they are the highest staked amount, then if somebody searches that term, that's going to be the advertisement that comes up. So I mean, that's a really cool, awesome system. I know you kind of touched on it. How do the Presearch nodes come into play with all this again?
Yeah, so basically, the nodes right now are running on a test net. So we're preparing for our main net launch. That'll be later this year. When we do that, when we go live, we'll be migrating to the presearch.com domain, which we purchased recently. It's kind of integrating a little bit more the Presearch engine into kind of the main Presearch platform that gives you like the multiple search options on the homepage if you go to presearch.org. And so kind of
right
ahead of that, we've got, these 4,000 nodes that are running on the testnet. And if you stake pre-tokens, then you are eligible to earn additional pre, and that's basically the reward that is there for you providing the infrastructure that the platform is running on. So the amount varies based on kind of the performance characteristics of your servers. So those that perform better earn more, and then you can basically kind of amplify those results using your tokens, and that kind of helps us, improve the security model a little bit. Adds an additional layer of kind of security and preferencing, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Those who are, staking a significant number of tokens, or it's kind of an indicator that they're serious about offering high quality infrastructure. And so we're taking that as, a signal that we are rewarding. And basically you can go in, you can spin up a node. It uses a platform called Docker. So it's kind of the industry standard. It runs on a whole bunch of different operating systems. It's currently not running on Raspberry Pi, but that is something that's in the works. We've had a lot of requests for that. But it'll run on, pretty much all the other kind of Intel-based processors effectively.
Okay.
And so, it's a pretty simple to set up node system, and that's why we've had so much adoption. It's been just, a lot of people saying, wow, I've tried to spin up nodes for other blockchains or whatever, and it's pretty complicated or challenging. And so we tried to really make it like just about anybody can do it. And we've just been adding more and more tools so that node operators who are looking to, manage multiple servers in bulk, or, just kind of have more insights into how their node's performing, have those tools. And so far it's been, really well received. So you can just go in, run a node, install the software. Some people do it on their local machines. Many of them, I would say most of them are running it on like virtual private servers. Which provides better performance, also kind of better privacy, because the way that it works, essentially, as we're hitting all these different, endpoints to retrieve data, ultimately those endpoints could, potentially look at your IP address that it's coming from. And so if you don't want your own personal computer IP address out there, then you're best to run it on a virtual private server. Some people just don't care.
Okay.
And so that's totally cool. But if people want, or some people do it actually through a VPN as well. But you can run it on a VPS. There's a whole bunch of different services that will give you even free VPS time. So you can, spin up a node for like 3 to 6 months for free, basically, and then start earning Presearch tokens. And so that's pretty attractive to a lot of people.
Very cool. So and I mean, obviously, if people are interested, I mean, there's a lot of information on what people can do with this. And if they go to presearch.org after you sign up and get your account registered and such, you can see there's an about, a buy tokens, keyword staking, and node section where you can get more information. One of the things that I really liked early on with Presearch was the fact that with the search bar, you could choose different engines to search through.
Yep.
And it used to be that you could earn pre-tokens searching any of these methods, and I believe that's changed. It's only earning pre-tokens if you're using the Presearch engine?
That's correct. Yeah. When we first started, before we had our own engine and we were using, Google, we were using kind of all the third parties, we were incentivizing people just to search through the Presearch UI regardless of where they landed. But as we've, developed our own engine and tried to, get the usage and the feedback there, and basically the ability to drive value to the keyword staking ads that confer the value on the pre-token, it made sense to start migrating it so that it's just on the Presearch engine.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got more than, if you click that gear, or not the gear icon.
The problem is I'm not logged in, so it's limiting what I can see.
Got it.
Yeah, it's like making me log in order to, which is good though. Protect your privacy and earn crypto. So it's not like you can just access all the information just by clicking on stuff. Go ahead.
If you search for something, just search for like rice, let's say, and then click that icon that has the 3 dots. That might work, and then that might show.
Let's see.
Yeah. So now click that guy there. So that's kind of a bit of an overview of some of the different engines that are in there. There's actually significantly more that haven't been fully categorized yet. There's over 100 different ones.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I tried to make it so that we're enabling people, rather than like right now, people are deep searching these different resources, and they're either doing it by Googling it first, and then kind of going over to the site. Other times people are like Googling the name of the resource and then pulling it up, and then the search field loads, and then they run another search. In this case, we just tried to make it as easy as possible to search whichever engine you want, kind of right off the hop through.
And it helps you to be more specific too with your searches, so that you're not pulling up a bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need. Like if you're looking specifically for images or music or shopping, business, crypto. That was the one thing I liked too with the crypto, is the fact that it had like where you can look up the transaction information via the block scan on blockchain, CoinDesk, CoinMarketCap, Cointelegraph, Etherscan, and Hacked. This is one of the things that I thought was really cool. But if people want to actually earn the pre-tokens, you're going to have to use the Presearch engine and the desearch as well, or just
that's
one
correct. Yeah, okay. Either of those two. And yeah, that's my favorite. I mean, I'm nonstop looking up Etherscan transactions and stuff. So super time saver for me. But yeah, you can customize it to use whichever ones you want. You can basically drag and drop them into kind of your search UI, and then they show up down the left-hand side of the search results page as well once you've customized it. Very
cool. And so people can see that with when you go to presearch.org and presearch.com will take you to the same place. You can add Presearch to Chrome, to your Brave browser, other browsers as well. Since I'm running your live streams every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which we'll talk about again here in a little bit, I hear you're talking about the mobile applications that are being launched. What's going on with the Android and the Apple versions of the mobile application?
Yeah, that's been one of the most requested things, and so we recently launched a privacy browser. So it's in the iOS store. So if you just search for Presearch, you'll find it. You can install it, and it's got a bunch of privacy protections in place, and enables you to search Presearch by default. And then we've got an Android version that we've been testing right now, and I think, it should be in the Google Play Store by the end of the month. But yeah, it's kind of a just faster, easier way. Unfortunately, we're dealing with all these closed ecosystems. So specifically on mobile, for the most part, the Mac OS and Windows and Linux, you can really customize things, and then we've got these browser extensions basically for just about all the major browsers, so it's easy to like set Presearch as a default engine just by clicking the add to Brave or add to Chrome link. But on mobile, they don't have those extensions, and so you've actually got to be added into like the list of default search engines, which is highly curated. A lot of people don't realize like Google pays Apple almost $10 billion a year to have Google as the default search engine for Safari on iOS.
Wow.
It's nuts.
I know it's crazy business. I mean, the collecting information is that just big data has just been it's crazy. Which that's another thing too that I really like about what you guys are doing is the protecting your privacy. But I wanted to touch on the applications real quick, the mobile application, because I just thought it was interesting that you guys are getting an Apple version before an Android version, because usually it's the other way around.
Yeah,
because there's so many different stringent requirements that Apple has with their app store. So I found that to be interesting. But how does Presearch allow for the basic individual to be able to protect their privacy, and why is that something that people should take as something important to consider when they're on the internet?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's I think just one of those things. I mean, some people honestly don't even care, and I mean, the majority of people at this point are kind of just resolved to, hey, I don't know how things work. You know, they just happen. Yeah, weird ads follow me around the internet, and I get, you know, some strange advertisements from time to time.
Or I'm talking about something, and you turn on your TV or your phone, and all of a sudden there's advertisements about the things you were talking about that you didn't even look up before.
Exactly, man. It's a little, you know, the creepy factor is there, but, you know, for those who do care and don't want those things happening, and essentially, I mean, there's profiles that are being built, and nobody really knows, like, you know, how far do those profiles extend, and what is the use of those profiles? Is it just advertising? Is it other things that might, you know, compromise your privacy or might somehow be utilized against you at some point? And so we've got more and more people that are turning to you know, search engines like Presearch and DuckDuckGo, and, you know, privacy browsers like Brave, and just trying to, you know, kind of be able to live their lives on the internet without having somebody constantly following them around. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like, as an analogy in real life, if some like dude was following you into every store that you went, and, you know, every time I'm talking to you, Rice, and all of a sudden some dude pops up
right now, something.
Yeah, he's just making notes. It's like, that would creep people out, like, to no end. It would be the number one thing that everybody would talk about.
But when it's invisible, you don't see it, you don't think about it. It's just out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. But it's happening. That's exactly what's happening. And so with ours, you know, there's no guy, basically. And so, you know, we're not storing your searches. We're not building a profile on you. You know, with the mobile apps and the privacy browsers, we're blocking third-party trackers that might do it even on external websites beyond Presearch. But, you know, kind of the vision for it is to go even beyond just, you know, privacy, and really have it be more community driven. I mean, search engines are by nature kind of very secretive, and to some degree they you know, need to be, as far as, you know, there's people who will constantly try to game a search engine to get their website ranked, and
SEO optimization. Right? It's a whole career choice now.
It's massive. It's a huge business, search engine optimization, and so there's kind of this ongoing cat and mouse game, basically, where if the search engines give out too much information, people end up, you know, kind of reverse engineering how an algorithm works, and then they figure out how to get their site to rank, even if it isn't the highest quality resource. And so there's kind of this argument for secrecy, where it's like, hey, we're trying to protect the quality of the results. And so, you know, we don't expose how things work. But we see that in kind of the token economy, there are different ways to, you know, validate things and to, you know, protect different systems. And so the vision is to ultimately have, you know, a more open, transparent search engine, one where, you know, it's not like one size fits all. We kind of refer to Google search as like vanilla search results. And it's like, well, you better like vanilla because everybody's getting vanilla, right?
Right.
You know, and they do personalize it automatically on the side. So it's like, ooh, I see Chris likes sprinkles, and they're throwing some sprinkles on your ice cream, right? But with ours, it's more, we want to have actual multiple indexes, multiple views. We want people to be able to choose really kind of the nature of the index that they're accessing. So it could be, something to do with bias. It could be, conservative. It could be, progressive. It could be, hey, what if you're, doing a paleo diet, or you're eating keto, or any of these things that like are kind of people's personal choices. If you can start choosing to preference those things, then that's going to be more relevant to you. But we see it happening in a more like kind of active way, where you would actually choose, versus us sending the guy around and Chris likes sprinkles, get out the sprinkles, right? Like,
get the sprinkles out.
Yeah. So, and yeah, just enabling all different flavors of search, and enabling different people who have different ideas about what search should be to have access to an audience. Like ultimately, and this is down the path, but we see like, oh, wow, what if, some school, let's say, or some, group of white hat, developers that wanted to kind of change the world, came up with a whole different model on search, but they need an active audience. They need kind of all that infrastructure around in order to test their ideas and see, hey, do people like this, and what's the response? And so if we can kind of build that overall audience and build that overall framework, then other people can start to plug into it, and then we might see some real innovation in search, because I mean, we're innovating as far as, it's being decentralized and the privacy protections and stuff. But even like currently, the current UI is very similar to your traditional, blue links kind of search that has been around for 10, 20 years. What if somebody comes up with something completely different, and they've got a whole different UI, they've got a whole different data model? Currently, very hard for those people to get enough traction to even test an idea. And so in this environment, it would be something that's more accessible to the community and accessible for people to, configure and try different things. And so we're hoping to really uncover a bunch of innovation over the next few years as we grow.
I mean, it's an awesome thing, and people may not even think about this as much as they should, about how much information is being controlled through search engines and how much of a monopoly there is on that. Because the largest search engine, without anybody disagreeing, would be Google. And in my opinion, I believe the second largest one would be considered YouTube, which is not technically even a search engine.
You're right.
So, and that's owned by ABC, Alphabet, Google. So, I mean, they have that monopoly, and they're controlling information. So if for people that are upset with Google and YouTube, and they're like telling me as a content creator, get off of YouTube, I'm trying to use the second largest search engine to push people to platforms like what Presearch offers, like what Library and Odyssey offers. And you've got to be able to utilize the platform where you got all the eyes. Otherwise, you're really going to kind of limit your audience, and you're going to be kind of in an echo chamber of just dealing with people who are already familiar with what you're talking about, rather than reaching new people, which I think is something that people need to take consideration of. So if you're upset about the censorship, and you're upset about these control mechanisms that companies like Google have, then you need to support projects like what Presearch is offering, and support and projects like Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
They're offering alternatives to Google and YouTube to give you that opportunity to protect your privacy, so you're not just being looked at as the data version of you. Because that's really what they're looking at. With big data, you have a complete profile on who you are individually, and that's how they're able to determine what type of ads. That's how they're able to say Chris Rice likes sprinkles, is by this very method. So I really encourage people to make sure you're supporting platforms like this. And two, I mean, if you were using something like Presearch, you could have been earning crypto with the pre-tokens. You could have been utilizing it within the ecosystem as a utility, or you could have actually traded it and gotten some other cryptocurrencies as well. So there's a lot of other opportunities that you have. And this one last question I want to ask you is something that I was curious about, and you've been talking about it. Right now, Presearch has been built on the Ethereum blockchain. It's an ERC20 token. And I know that you guys have been talking about working with other blockchains, interoperability, and things like that. Have you made any progress? Has the team made any progress on any moves like that so far?
Yeah, so yeah, it's been running on Ethereum, which is, at sometimes been great. At other times, it's been pretty painful when we've got $50 transaction fees and stuff. It's almost unusable. Yeah. And so yeah, we're working right now on a full Web3 integration, which is going to enable people to cover their own, gas fees and basically give them more control over their withdrawals, because that's currently something that we are covering as a project. And so that kind of limits sometimes our ability to, do the timely withdrawals that people would like. It's just, hey, if it's going to cost us $50 or $60 to process a transaction, then we got to, hold off until those fees kind of come into line. But then this Web3 integration then kind of sets the stage for additional integrations. And so, yeah, we're working on Token Bridge to, a couple of different blockchains, so that it's not just Ethereum based, and looking at, we've been exploring a number, including, Polygon, Matic.
That's what I was going to ask. If you're staying on it, if you're staying within the Ethereum ecosystem, have you thought about Polygon? Because I've been following Matic from an early stage, and I'm really impressed with what they're trying to do with sidechain solutions, second layer sidechains. I'm not sure if it would be both or. Yep. But yeah, and then the bridges, like using multiple different chains. Right. I think interoperability and cross chain, I think, is going to be one of the things that's going to allow for a lot more success within cryptocurrency and help with the mainstream adoption. So as opposed to everything being separated.
Yep. Yeah, it's there's kind of multiple benefits. I mean, one is, hey, it's just decentralization. I mean, again, that's kind of what we're all pushing towards, and so that is really interoperability and leveraging different platforms. I mean, you've got your videos on 4 or 5 different platforms, which is awesome. And we had that guy last night contact us, and now he's putting it up on PeerTube, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to him. And the PeerTube thing is very, very comparative to blockchain. It's just not blockchain. It's just networking computers, almost like the BBS systems that people used to use back in the day, kind of similar to that. When you mentioned the Web3 integration, is that where someone could use their MetaMask wallet or use like Trust Wallet?
Yep, exactly.
And that would allow them the functionality of their wallet within being able to use Presearch within the Web3 portion of it.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, to kind of start, and I mean, we've always seen ourselves as being a bit of an on-ramp to crypto. There's a lot of people who are new to crypto that are using Presearch just because it's so easy. It's a way for them to kind of get into the space. And so we wanted to keep it, accessible, and that has meant, using a traditional login system that's, email and password based. But with this Web3 integration that we're working on, it will enable people to ultimately log in with just a private key, just a wallet address through MetaMask or whichever Web3 platform they want to use, and then ultimately it can just provide increased privacy protection, so that we don't even need to require an email address, for instance, and just gives people again more options, more choice, and ways to access the platform.
Awesome. And I definitely want to encourage people to make sure that they're heading over to the Presearch YouTube channel as well. Everything that we're talking about in today's episode is going to be linked down below. And then if you want to check out the previous interviews that I did with Colin and some of the reviews I've done on Presearch, check out that playlist. So what happens every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, Colin?
That is weekly update time. You and I connect usually about 10 minutes before. We do a live stream using this same platform, StreamYard, which is awesome. You help facilitate all the videos. I basically have the luxury of just showing up and clicking connect. And then every week, the day before kind of thing. The team and I go over the progress of the week and what's been done since the last update. And we, update or create a new presentation for it. And then, 15 minutes.
Very in depth.
Walk people through what's happening. And the response has been great. A lot of positive feedback, and people, there aren't too many projects that are doing weekly updates, I don't think. So people like that level of connection. So
no, it's a good thing, man. And that's kind of what was a little bit weird about doing the interview, is because, running the live streams and talking to you so much, I know so much about Presearch. But I have to be able to ask questions in a way that somebody who doesn't know much about Presearch can make sure that they're learning about what Presearch is. So it's kind of that catch-22.
Yeah, man.
Because you've been in my ear every Friday, and
I know.
and it's been now about 3 months that we've been doing it. And last, not this past week, but 2 weeks from this coming Friday, when I was in Florida, I had problems with my computer, which now I'm having to restart. I'm rebooting Windows on. I'm actually currently doing it. It's been horrible what happened to this computer, but I was able to run the live stream successfully from my phone, which awesome. I've had a couple instances where my computer locked up and it bounced me out. And as long as it's on StreamYard, because it's web-based, the stream will continue.
So cool, man.
And I could pop back in on my phone and recover the stream, which I've done in some interviews. But if it would have been like OBS, I would not have been able to do any of those things, and I wouldn't have been able to run that live stream. So technology's come a long way. For people that want to see that one, it was stream number 18. And if you watch at the very, very beginning, you can see my icon from where I had to turn my camera and mic off because I couldn't figure out how to remove myself from the stream from the mobile version. But while we were doing it, I was able to figure it out, and I'm gone here. And then I was able to change the background and get everything back to normal. And so I definitely encourage people to check out every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's usually about a 15-minute long stream, and it's just giving really good updates on what's going on with all things Presearch. So you can go to presearch.io to get the information on everything about Presearch, and then presearch.com or presearch.org to use the actual search engine platform. Make sure you're using my referral link that's down below. And then once you sign up, use your referral link to get your friends to sign up and tell them about the power of decentralized search engines and how you can basically protect your privacy and get better results, get rewarded all in the same process. Do you have anything that you'd like to add before we wrap up today's live stream, my good friend?
Oh, man, I appreciate the opportunity. Just wanted to say thanks to the community. They're really the ones who make everything possible. And also just to the team, we've got a great group of people. We're not, a huge team. We're doing a lot with a small team, and just awesome, passionate people that are changing the world through Presearch. And just appreciate everybody's support. So
Beautiful.
Thanks for the opportunity, man.
Yeah, we'll do some. I'll talk to you between now and Friday, or on Friday, about doing something kind of low key where we can probably just do it like on Odyssey, where we don't have to worry about censoring what we're saying.
Yep.
And just kind of talking a little bit about what you're doing in your private life that has to do with the freedom movement, because I know that's something that's really important to you, especially somebody living in Canada during these crazy times. So
yep, Kanakistan, as some would refer to it. It's been an interesting COVID experience for sure, and
that it has
definitely lots of work we've all got to do to preserve the freedom that we have and try to restore the freedom that we may have lost. So looking forward to that conversation, man. That'd be awesome.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna pull you out the stream and talk to you for 1 quick second. I know you got to go.
Awesome. Sounds
Thanks,
good.
dude. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not smashed that like button, make sure you smash that like button, a thumbs up, help other people to be able to see this information in the YouTube algorithm flow. The thumbs down help too as well. All of it, all the interactions help with it. So if you have not, I definitely encourage you to check out my most recent sponsored video, which is an introduction and an overview of DAO One, which is a community-led DeFi ecosystem, a truly decentralized autonomous organization from day one. So make sure you're checking that out. It's another way that you can support the channel. I'm doing sponsored videos as a way to earn income. So you watching those videos, smashing on a like button, or even giving a thumbs down helps out as much as possible. So if you're not subscribed, I encourage you to be subscribed. Check out Presearch at the links down below. And as always, I encourage you to be the change by practicing change.